Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Toplofty Lounge, episode 114 Conversations for the Elevated. Welcome to all my fellow snobs. I am your host, Science Fiction Snob. This week on the program, we're going to be talking about Board Games Gen Con D, high level look down. We've got an expert on D&D here. He's got all the news on things that came out, and I don't think he's too happy about it, but we'll see. But before we get into that, let me just quickly thank Weatherman for the gift of one membership. Hey, thanks a lot. You're helping to keep the show on the air. We appreciate it. Helps to pay for stuff and keep us going. All right. And let me, before we get into anything else, let me introduce my co-host. Like I said, he's the man who has got D&D in his blood. It's Cam. Say hello, Cam.
Oh wait, you didn't use my new name.
Oh, your new name?
It's Gamer Snob.
Gamer Snob. Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh wait, let me change that.
You didn't put it on there.
I'm joking, of course. But hey, right. Welcome. Thank you, everybody, for that warm welcome.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Yeah. Let's just say a quick hello to whoever in the chat. Oh, Weatherman's in the chat. He says hello to Cam, but he ignores me. Yeah, I'm chopped liver.
That's because I said hello to him.
Oh, I see. But he did, as I said, he did gift us one membership, so we appreciate that. That helps us. It keeps us going. Who else? The Bad News Bards are in the chat, which is Death Angel Shadow. So it's the same person. But hey, that's fine. No problem.
We'll take what we can get.
We'll take what we can get. You bet. And who else do we have? JT is in the chat. Hey, welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. Hello, everyone. Yes. All right. Let's get going. Did you have a rough day, Cam?
I've had a rough week.
Do you want to tell us about it?
Well, the thing that's really just pouring salt in my wounds constantly is car electronics still going on and getting worse.
Still?
Yeah. Another new fresh problem today of something that has already been fixed once on a vehicle that has less than 20,000 miles on it. So
what?
Real super happy about that.
Less than 20.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, really. Okay, let's not talk about it.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Well, I got some big complaints.
Okay.
You know the saga of the dugout here and the flooding, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's been 6 weeks and still all we've got was the insurance adjuster coming in and saying, yeah, we got to pretty much gut most of this. And then we had the asbestos guys come in and, take samples see if there's asbestos in the, because this, the house is 1970s. So anything before 91, you got to check for asbestos. Anyway, and they apparently lost those things. So a guy calls me up on Tuesday and says, hey, we want to come back and take more samples. And he leaves me a message and I'm like, phone him back, left a message. Hey, come anytime, man. We want to get this done. So days go by. It's Friday, still nothing. So then I call the insurance company, right? And say, hey, this is going on. Tell them the situation. Guys keep calling us. These company subcontractors keep calling me and say, hey, can I come and pick up all that ripped up carpet that's in your house? That's outside your house. And I'm like, hey, you guys haven't ripped up the carpet yet. And they keep calling and saying, hey, can we pick up all those dehumidifiers and fans that we left at your house? I go, you didn't leave any. No one's done any of that yet. So they called me like about 6 times, like different for those two things. So needless to say, I'm feeling a little neglected. I'm thinking they screwed up, right? And every time these guys call, I tell them the story. I say, hey, you haven't got anything yet. Tell them XYZ, right? So I call the insurance company and I get the main office because I can't remember who the guy they gave us, right? And so they're like, oh, okay. They take my information. And I'm like, listen, who's my guy anyway? They give me the guy's name and his I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to call him directly too, right? So I call him and leave a message, explain the whole rigmarole, right? He calls me back a couple hours later, and he pissed me off. He's got this, you know how you know how to do the old corporate insult stuff, right?
Mm,
Insult people and talk down to them, but
yeah.
make it like you're being nice,
Mhm.
right? That's what he pulls on me, and basically accuses me. He's like, "Oh well, you said I wasn't communicating with you, and I've been communicating. I've sent you emails and this, and I've called you, and you haven't answered my calls, and blah blah blah, like this." And I'm like, "That's
This is all lies, right? Yes.
yeah." I'm like, "I had nothing of the sort." And it's nothing to do with the problem I have that we're feeling that I'm neglected here. It's been 6 weeks. You've
Right,
lost.
right. It's your feelings that are the problem.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you made me look bad to my boss. I
Well,
didn't make you look
I
bad.
don't give a crap. Number one,
Like,
and okay, show me the documentation of when you've called me, and
well,
when you've sent these
he
things.
probably called the house phone. He didn't call
Oh.
my cell phone or something. And maybe sent me emails, but I don't read emails.
Oh, so
But
it is your
but
fault. I see. This
no,
poor
but
civil
but
servant has been
no,
attacked.
he's not a civil servant. He works for a
Oh,
private company, first of all.
okay.
And then what? Like I've sent you a copy of the assessment and all that shit. Well, I don't care about that shit. I need to find out when these guys are coming back to take the asbestos sample again, or if they did in fact lose it, right?
Well, yeah,
Like that's
yeah,
what I
right.
need. That doesn't tell me anything. Oh, here's a copy of what the assessment was. What
Hey,
the hell does that matter, right?
I got some bad news for you there, my friend.
What's that?
If you have indicated that you're upset in some way, you probably get a knock on your door from some other government agency that says, "Oh, we could take care of this problem for you. Just report to this booth where they'll play nice music and inject something in you, and all your problems will be over."
Yeah, from my cold dead hands. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
House phones. Who still has that? Yeah, well, we have it because we got kids that don't have phones, so they can.
Did I tell you about?
We don't. We don't usually. We should get rid of it because all that happens is people call and try to sell this stuff on it. So I never answer the damn thing. Yeah. So anyway, so that was my. So needless to say, I don't want to talk to that asshole again. Like Jesus, he's coming here, phones me up, the customer, and starts accusing me of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, pissed me off. Oh, and then guess what happened today? The kitchen sink started leaking. Ugh,
Okay, so
today.
you got me. I will water-based flooding, sewage, lack of water supply. Those are all far worse than car problems.
Well,
That's
there's no
the one
sewage,
thing.
but
Okay, I'm just saying anything in the in the plumbing category or flooding category is the worst.
I got a watery basement, and then it's probably a fairly easy fix. The plumber's coming in 2 days. It's probably easy fix. But the sink is leaking the faucet, like there's underneath, right? So water is spilling out, right? And so it's coming out on the floor and stuff, and then it gets underneath the fridge, right? So the wife is like, "Oh, pull out so I got to pull out the fridge, and she's going to clean up in the back, and then she decides to oh, this is a good time to clean the fridge. I'm going to pull everything out of the fridge,
mission drift,
leave it scattered all over the place, and clean the fridge." I mean, she's doing it, but what my house is like, right? Like well, you don't know, but it's a bungalow, right? So the basement is big as the upstairs. So half the things in the basement are threatened by water. So all those are upstairs in boxes and pieces, and they're all over the upper, right? So it's like a freaking maze going through the house because there's all kinds of boxes and shit all over the place because so, and now there's food everywhere too. It's just like, is this really the time? But anyway, so yeah, frustrating. All right. I don't know. Cars have pissed me off too, but all right. Yeah. I have a house phone. Yeah, me too. I don't answer it, and I never check the messages. The wife sometimes checks the messages. Oh, so and so called. I'm like, well, they should call me on my real phone.
I just dropped my my standard phone for voice over IP, which is again, wow, 20 years ago that was really cool, but I didn't totally want to get rid of it, but I was sick of the old, the old
Yeah,
way.
the only problem with voice over IP is if the internet ever goes down.
Absolutely, it's
And for us, we are in a rural area, and my internet is not that good anyway. It's kind of
yeah.
iffy at times. So
Being a Luddite, I would prefer that a classic phone system still existed, but they're phasing it out anyway. They're basically just pushing you out. So it's like, okay, screw you. And it stopped working. It just stopped working one day. I'm like, okay, am I going to try and jack around with these a-holes or just jump ship? Jumping ship is way easier and cost 25% of the price.
Yeah, the only reason I was keeping it was so that my mother could call me because she had that number. But now, I'm like, just call on the cell phone, and I gave her the cell phone number, and she could just use that. And it's better too, anyway. It's clear, and But anyway, all right,
okay,
difficult. All right.
Let's bitch about some other stuff.
We've lost 90% of our audience bitching. Anyway, yeah. All right. Now, Cam, I got some news in this area too. Now, what did you do to increase your sci-fi snobbery? I got a couple things. Too. But what about you? Anything?
Did I do anything? It's been a blur. I want to say that I did, but I can't put my finger on it. Thought I did. What did I watch this week?
Okay, I'll go first then, and you think while I'm talking, and then maybe. Okay, so first, I finally saw Attack the Block. Do you know that one?
No.
British film about a bunch of young British punks, and aliens land, and they attack their
literal
their
punks
apartment complex. Huh?
You mean literal punks, like punk rockers?
No, they're
or just like young toughs.
Young toughs.
Okay.
John Boyega is the one of the kids. Okay. He's not bad in it. And so they're all, oi, governor, they're doing the whole British thing, and they're anyway, and they're, they kill the aliens. The aliens attack them, they fight them, all kinds of stuff like that. So, Madman recommended to me. It's not a bad movie. I would say it's, reasonably good. It is technically science fiction, but it's not big on the science fiction other than the aliens, and they're killing the aliens, right? They're chopping them up and, hitting them with swords and baseball bats and stuff. It's really just a bunch of tough kids who, mug people and kind of, eventually, become heroes by, saving a bunch of people. So not a bad movie, but light on the science fiction. Science fiction is only the premise, but I'd recommend it. Go see it. I think it's from like 10 plus years ago. Boyega's playing a 15-year-old. He doesn't look 15, but I don't think he's 35 or whatever he is now. But not a bad movie. And the other thing I did was, Cam, are you a fan of the Big Bang Theory? I'm guessing no. No, you hate that show?
I've not watched much of it. It is everything wrong with everything.
So if you like that show, they have a new spinoff called Stuart Fails to Save the Universe. And Stuart is the loser comic book store operator there. So it's not. I saw the first 2 episodes. They've only got 2 out, and it's not bad for science fiction because it's basically each 30-minute episode is they've traveled to. It starts off in a very apocalyptic world. And it's still the Big Bang Universe world because they bring in the other characters. We've seen some of the other characters, and then at the end of the episode, they kind of escape that reality and then go into some other reality, which may or may.
So it's
not
Rick and Morty.
So it's kind of Rick and Morty. I mean, they're just going from universe to universe with the MacGuffin device, trying to set things right. It is more higher concept science fiction. It's kind of funny to see these characters you used to. See in certain roles doing other things. So if you, as long as you don't hate the Big Bang Theory, then you might enjoy the show. And again, it's not bad, but it's,
I think I'll pass on that one.
Yeah. The Loser, I'm going to watch a little more, see what comes of it. It's, okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, we got
That's what I did. So what about you? Nothing?
No,
Anything?
let's say no.
The Corona.
While we've got a few viewers left, why don't we move into boring them with another topic that I already talked about?
All right, let's talk about. Let's go to this here. D&D. What's going on in the world of D&D? Gen Con. There was a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, Thursday night they had their big presentation.
Maybe I should make this bigger.
Sure. So let me start with the broad strokes, if I may.
I'll go to. I'll go to the top here.
It was, they tried to. This is, at the convention, and they've got a theater of some sort, where they've got a stage. It was actually when they showed the crowd, it looked like a fairly small venue. So there wasn't a lot of on the video that I watched of it, which was, their official video. There wasn't a lot of big cheers and stuff that you could hear. It's a little hard to tell when you're not actually there, but it seemed kind of a tepid reception. There was some cheering and such, but it was a small venue. So that might be part of it.
That you're saying they failed. They're saying they failed to seed the crowd with influencers like Marvel does.
Well, I'm sure that there were people that were there too, and those, were people that were cheering. And there are fanboys, of Wizards of the Coast. There's no doubt. So maybe they were there and were legitimately cheering. I can't say one or the other. But and like the kids say, it was pretty cringe. The presentation was pretty cringe. It was the I forget the guy that was hosting it. I don't know anything about him or I've never seen him before in my life, but he was, kind of trying to goose the crowd a lot, and it's like, they're just like, okay. Kind of but it was, Steve,
it wasn't no Steve Ballmer.
No. Weatherman says he's never been to a Gen Con. I have been to.
I have not been either.
I don't remember how many. I'm pretty sure it's less than 10 though. I have been to ones in Milwaukee where it used to be held, and of course, it was held in Lake Geneva originally, and then it been held in Indianapolis since I think 2003 or 2004, and I've been to several of those as well. But do you have a listing you want to go through here about their big announcements? I remember most of them.
That's your overall.
Yeah, it was lame. It was it was kind of a snooze fest and very cringe.
I mean, I hear some of the things they're doing is not gonna be popular with the old school guys.
They're okay. Here's the thing.
Here's the first one.
They're trying to. Okay, if you've listened to Jason's show, Sci-Fi for Me, or Bad News Bards, or any role playing old timer, somebody who's not a fan of modern D&D, there's a lot of criticism to be had, and they had been Wizards of the Coast had been pretty openly hostile to us. I mean, the moron that was in charge of their PR after the OGL scandal, which was the open gaming license thing, where they basically tried to revoke it and do all this strong arming of creators and such. This guy was running.
Let me give a little background for that, just so that people, if they're more like me, so they had an open OGL, open gaming license. So that's where a lot of third-party people would go. They would make modules for D&D, and they could do that legally and sell them, right?
Yes, right. You could use their gaming system, basically their rule set, and make products for it under that license. It was pretty permissive generally, and a ton of people did use it.
Could you make things in their worlds like Greyhawk and stuff? Because they've got a couple of worlds settings.
I don't think so. I know they did some external licensing for that, but I don't think that they allowed you to play that closely in their backyard.
It was used all their stuff,
right? You could make compatible things for it,
though.
Which was good. This, and again, a lot of people like to piss on WotC from the old days. Old WotC before Hasbro bought them out, and Ryan Dancy is the guy. This is his brainchild. And this was in the early days of. A lot of tech stuff where open licensing was kind of a hot thing back then, and he brought that to role playing.
Yeah, the biggest problem with role playing is content, right? like, is there enough content for you? You can make up your own content, but a lot of times people are like, oh, I don't know if I'm doing it right, or my content's not as good, or they don't feel
Well,
comfortable. So
that's
content is the thing that people want after they buy a game, right? And maybe they
I
don't have
guess
time to make up their own.
okay. Yes, there are people that are like that. That has never been an issue for me in any gaming I've ever played. I never sat there and said, "Wow, I need to be handed more adventures to play," because I came from the time when you made your own adventures. That's we've always done that in my gaming groups. It's not that we haven't ever played a published thing, but there are people that certainly love their settings. Greyhawk being one of them, Forgotten Realms being another.
But
so
you could see that people would not have the time to do that, and they might,
sure,
as they get older, they might want to like I always thought that was the biggest weakness of, especially in the early days of D&D. You're like, oh, are we doing this right? It's nice to have something set up that's.
There is that too. The in the old days, it wasn't. You couldn't go to the internet and look it up, right? You kind of had to figure it out on your own, and the rules were much much more nebulous. But so there's been this rift, that has existed, and between old school gamers and the new community that Wizards of the Coast has groomed. And I use that as broadly as you might imagine it needs to be. So they've been openly hostile. They have openly attacked the creators of the game, including Gary Gygax,
the original creators.
Yes, calling him a bigot and so on and so forth.
The company has attacked him.
Right. And with specifically with like disclaimers and things were like, oh, this is from another time when there's sexism, blah, 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 racism and all these things. So, I don't know. You probably don't have too many direct attacks where they have said Gary Gygax is a bigot or something like that.
Oh, no, they're not going to say that directly.
But they have definitely enabled people in saying that. And they're like, go look on Drive Through RPG and look at any of the older stuff. They have a disclaimer on there that's basically an accusation.
Look, let's say if I invented something and then, some company bought me out and then they started putting on all this stuff that they now own, that, disclaimers that, this was written back when sexism was blah, 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 and racism. They're basically calling you a racist and a sexist, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There. Right. And it's like the same cowards that, H.P. Lovecraft was a weird guy, right? He was, I think it's hard to say that he wasn't racist in many ways. But they're more than happy to exploit his work, though, to make money off it. It's like, why don't you make something else then if he's so problematic? So there's a lot of that. But long story short, there has been this rift. And up to even a few years ago, their official WotC employees were walking around and saying, we can't wait until, the old white guys are, aged out, basically dying. It's like, so, we don't want you, kind of thing, this is the same kind of cowardly lunacy that just goes on. It's like, well, you see, if you target a certain group, then you could be as racist, sexist, ageist as you want. But anything else, well, that's the worst crime in the world, right? In any case, there's a new sheriff in town. His name's Dan Ayub. He claims to be, and as far as I know, this is true, an old school gamer from, he claims, Redbox, which would be, to me, that would be saying 1983 basic D&D.
Yeah, basic D&D.
And I don't know how old he is. He's probably in his early 50s is my guess. But he's a Microsoft guy, right? So as many people are, there's a pipeline from Microsoft to WotC. But he's in charge of the game now. And he has, I don't know if it's him or if he, there's a higher corporate thing, whatever the case is, they have changed their tune very specifically. It is trying to reconcile this and stop directly attacking old school gamers. Now, and this presentation, I forget what it was called. It was like a new dawn. Oh, new dawn for D&D. That's what it was. It's like, we want to bring everyone back to the table kind of thing. So the PR push for this is very much to be for everyone and stop attacking the old people. And, Luke Gygax, who is Gary's son, one of his sons, who was very young when D originally came out, but he's been doing some stuff in gaming. He said that he apologized to him for the way that the company had, treated his father, so on and so forth. This was in the same time frame when they put out
Dan Ayub did. Dan Ayub
Yes,
did. Oh,
and put out other hit jobs on Gary Gygax and many others. So many of these guys aren't alive to defend themselves anymore. Some of them are. Rob Kuntz is one of them who is, and he has taken a very dim view of these attacks and spoken out against it. Props to him for that. But so there's been this at least high level attempt to change their tune on that. And
sorry, just interrupt for a sec. I mean, attacking, if anyone's watching and doesn't know anything about D&D, this is the equivalent of attacking George Lucas for Star Wars and saying that his Princess Leia in the gold bikini, that's sexist, and like saying shit like that. Like that's the equivalent of what they did to Gary. Am I correct here? I think pretty much.
Yes, and I'm sure there are people that do say that about George Lucas as well.
But can you imagine Disney saying that about him, like the company? Like that's what's happening.
I kind of can. I mean,
okay, but that's basically the equivalent, right? That's what's been happening.
Right.
If Disney came out and said George Lucas is a racist and a sexist, that's basically what's happened.
Yes, and it's same thing like Lovecraft, and Gary isn't anything like H.P. Lovecraft. The things that are supposedly sexist that he said are, if you actually look at the context of them, there is context to them, and basically it's hit jobs in almost every case. And obviously someone from 50 years ago doesn't necessarily have modern sensibilities. Yeah, big deal. The world changes. Get over it. People that are screeching and crying like they've been personally offended by something someone said 50 years ago. These people are idiots. But that's the kind of idiot that Wizards of the Coast has focused on and enabled in their community. Their community is garbage as far as I'm concerned. That doesn't mean everybody, but the loud lunatic voices are the ones that tend to get the attention. Anyway, so Dan Ayub, to his credit, is saying the right things about this, right? He's stopped the open disparagement of people, and he's, as far as I know, they're not enabling this, as like they were in the past. I don't know what's in this guy's heart. I don't know if he's full of crap and he's just a PR guy out there saying these things. Right now, I'll take him at his word that, that's what he believes. But this is a corporation, right? The corporation's there to make money. They've clearly said, hey, what we were doing before isn't working for us, so we're going to change tunes. Whether that also includes a real change of heart or not, I don't know. And we'll never really know, right? But that's what a lot of this was. And this leads into the first thing that they were really pushing here, and that is the D&D icons area.
Right
now, okay, so I don't know if you have something to show about that. It's so Joe.
These are just quick. I mean, it's just a little bit of an article.
Okay. So Joe Manganiello is an actor, and he's been a fan of D&D for a long time, going back to Dragonlance, which was the first novels for D&D that were put out back in the early 80s. And so he's the chief creative officer or whatever of this kind of whatever branch it is. And this is, I see this as kind of their outreach. This is their outreach to old school gamers, right?
The icons line.
Okay. Right. And so this is the thing, as you're showing here, they've brought in Luke Gygax, which is no surprise. People kind of got wind of this. Luke Gygax, who was on the Bad News Bards with Jeff a few weeks ago. And he's been working on stuff, in the gaming world.
Right.
And he runs GaryCon, and, which is now quite a large convention. And so he's been brought in to do some work on Greyhawk. I'm not clear exactly what that level is. I was, in our back room chats, I was saying, are they going to make some big move here? Like make him, a chief creative officer or something like that, kind of a large position at WotC. That doesn't appear to be what they've done. So he's doing something to do with Greyhawk. I don't know what that's going to add up to. They are also bringing doing something new with Dragonlance. They had Tracy Hickman, who was one of the creators, along with Margaret Weiss, and and he kind of talked about he was talking about Dragonlance, and they said something like, "Oh, we're putting it in your hands" or something, and I had no idea what he was talking about. What what he was kind of saying, we're going to move, basically saying that they're, the creators of it aren't going to be around forever. And again, this putting it in people's hands. I don't know what he means by that. Are they going to just I have no idea what that might mean, even.
And they didn't give any details.
No, they didn't. And Margaret Weiss wasn't on stage to mine. I mean, I didn't see her there. I watched the whole thing. They mentioned her specifically, but she wasn't there. And then R.A. Salvatore, who is the writer of, the most famous Forgotten Realms novels. Again, going way back. And man, that guy looks good. He's got to be in his 60s at least, and he looks like he's in his early 40s maybe. So that guy's aging well. So these are kind of the big, Dragonlance, Forgotten Realms, Greyhawk. These are the iconic names of settings from D&D, and they're bringing this. They're forwarding this effort that, look, all this, we're getting back to our roots and the things that the old timers love. Whether that will be a sprinkling of stuff here or there, and they're just trying to capitalize on these people's names, and these people are cashing checks. If that is the case, I don't blame them. Go ahead and cash those checks. I'm not trying to disparage any of those people.
Well, here, look at the bottom here. Let me read real quick. The first product in the Dungeons and Dragons Icons line is a new adventure entitled Greyhawk: Crown of the Witch Queen. This 160-page adventure will be launched in early 2027 and will feature Drizzelda, the daughter of the Witch Queen, Igwil, better known in D&D lore as Tasha. Artwork of the new series previewed, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Hinting at a return of one of D&D's first mega dungeons.
Yeah. Okay. So Greyhawk was Gary's setting, right? And Tasha, that they're talking about here, I don't claim to be an expert on this, but from what I understand, this incarnation of Tasha is not anything to do with Gary. This came about during third edition or 3.5, something in the early 2000s. This other character, the I can't even pronounce it. And Tasha were kind of mashed up into this other character. Tasha, the original Tasha, was something that only existed. I guess the story is that a little girl wrote Gary Gygax a letter in crayon, I'm told, about something, and wanted something to do with laughter. So that's where Tasha's uncontrollable hideous laughter, or is it hideous uncontrollable laughter? Anyway, the spell came out sometime back then, but that's all there really was to it. And then later on, the character of Tasha got mashed up with this other thing, and then during 5th edition, Tasha's a big deal, which I don't know or care that much about. Anyway, to me, this is not saying this does not say, hey, this is going back to classic D&D, so, but I don't know what it's going to be. That Greyhawk logo that they were showing there that you had, that is certainly not a classic Greyhawk logo. I think during the presentation, the Icons presentation, they did show some of the classic stuff. This is, notice the coloring here, the pink to blue.
This is the trans color.
Yeah,
it's or the trans flag, man.
Or the bisexual lighting colors, the pink and purple.
Pink and blue. That's the trans stuff.
So that's a bad sign. I did just happen to choose those colors. And for people that are into coding,
maybe it's coding.
Anyway, so I have little faith in that. But
Weatherman mentions WotC making a lot of profit in Magic the Gathering. You're going to mention that later on.
Yes,
we're going to get to that, right? We're going to get to that. That's coming up.
Yep.
And I'm sorry with that.
If I'm going too long on any of these things, just cut me off. I don't need to. I'll talk about whatever you want. But
all right. Anything you want to talk about? Dark Sun's campaign. I don't think this is too controversial.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Okay.
Dark Sun is a famously. Again, I'm not an expert on Dark Sun. I actually never played a Dark Sun game. I own one Dark Sun product. It's psionics are heavy in it, and I bought it for that purpose. But my understanding is Dark Sun. It was a campaign that came out in 2nd edition. It's very apocalyptic, dark thematically.
Sounds cool.
And Yeah, it is. It is, and a lot of people love it to this day. You know, it's one of those that it has a strong, if maybe not huge, fandom, but it is a brutal setting. You know, it's well, Weatherman could probably talk better about it than I can. It's not high fantasy by any means, right? So again, this is just me reiterating what other people have said. So they said, "Oh, you know, look at this," and they had like a preview, like an animated preview, and it was very violent, right? You know, a lot of blood and guts and such. And as you see here, this thing, a lot of blood and guts, right? But people are pointing out
Yeah,
that
yeah.
it wasn't just violence; it had a lot of dark themes, including slavery and things like that, that there's no way they're touching that with a 10-foot pole, is what most people expect. And that fans of this, I have seen say that, you know, they miss the mark on this. That it's not just a lot of violence. That's not what Dark Sun is. So I'm just taking their word for it. I'm not an authority on this at all, so I can't really judge it. But that's what other people are saying.
So it's not the classic. They're doing what they think it's about.
Yes.
And
And so there was a fourth edition Dark Sun as well, and I remember seeing it. I never bought any of that, but you know, this is kind of like, oh, you're an edgy teenager and you think this is dark and brooding or whatever. You know, it's like, probably not. So I don't know. The things that struck me about it that I'm a little is they're like, oh, they're making a point that it's got to be shrink wrapped and everything, 18 plus rating and da da da.
yeah,
It's
it
like,
says that right here, mature rating.
right. So they're trying to sell up on that point, right?
Yeah,
Well,
that sounds like they're
okay.
yeah.
As Jeff
That's like the old like movies when we were growing up, and they're like, what can we do to get an R rating so the teenagers will want to see this? Oh, let's show some full frontal nudity or something. You know, we'll have that girl take her shirt off, and then everyone will want to see the movie.
Mhm.
Right? It's not a
Yeah.
good movie.
Yeah, Weatherman says it's a medieval post-apocalyptic campaign with magic and science. Now magic, as I recall, it's like forbidden. You know, it's like if you use magic, you'll be hunted down and killed, kind of thing. And that's why psionics has a more prominent
That's
role.
what Jeff says here.
Yeah.
Persona
Okay. Yeah. There you
non
go.
grata.
Right.
Jane's life from the world.
Right. Defilers and preservers, I think it was. So they're putting this out again. It's a D&D setting, so legit D&D setting. But for example, they said one of the things they're putting out is well, here you go, a limited edition player's handbook featuring Dark Sun artwork. So it's just a reskin player's handbook, it sounds like. And then there's these other things that will have, well, the campaign setting guide, for example, which has, you know, player facing rules for the Scion class. So notice it's not just the campaign book that includes the player stuff. It's the same player's handbook is the way I'm reading this, with different art.
Well, I would assume there's be some different rules in it.
Well, no, because that's what they're saying that's what they're saying Edge of Oblivion is, which is serves as a campaign guide, setting guide, while Blood and Power will serve as the player facing guide. Also planned is a limited edition player's handbook with different artwork. So the player's handbook, I believe, is just a reskin. It's like, you know, it's a money grab thing, but hey, that's up to people to decide whether they want to pay for it or not. You know, as far as I'm concerned. Actually, I kind of prefer that to, you know, it's like, if you don't want it, don't get it. You know, without forcing you to buy, like, oh, a player's handbook and it's got 3 pages of new content. You know, Jeff, sorry,
Mr. Milquetoast, Jeff, maybe Jeff or someone can give you a little more about these out of print things. Weatherman is telling a little something. Troy Denning did some great books on Dark Sun campaign. Okay, sorry, go ahead. Sure. And you want Jeff's comment?
Yeah, he was mentioning that the first, as far as I know, that this is correct. This is the first, was the Book of Vile Darkness and Book of Exalted Deeds. Actually, Vile Darkness came out, Jeff, I recall, right at the very end of 3.0. And then Exalted Deeds was very early 3.5. But the Book of Vile Darkness and the Book of Exalted Deeds were artifacts from first edition D&D, and these are the titles of the books. I don't know why Exalted Deeds would be, because it's very goody kind of stuff. But Book of Vile Darkness was pretty mature content, you know, and it had a warning label on it and such. So Jeff is pointing out that, you know, again, they're I should have said this at the beginning. This whole thing is very much the world didn't exist before 2017 mindset, and so things like this is like the first time ever. It's like not really.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's what Jeff is pointing out.
Yeah. So maybe Troy Denning, Mr. Milktoast,
Yeah.
might find some of those books that you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah. So the bottom line for the Dark Sun thing is it's like one of people. It's like, oh, Dark Sun fans. It's like, careful what you wish for, right? It's like, no, please don't bring this back because you suck and you're gonna screw it up. So that's what fans of Dark Sun are now faced with is that very realistic prospect.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Who knows? D&D Beyond.
Yeah. Okay.
What is D&D Beyond, and what upgrades should we be looking forward to, Cam?
D&D Beyond is their. I'm not that well versed in this, but this is their digital tool set.
Right.
That they're using, and it was made by a third party. Then they basically bought them out some years back before the OGL scandal, as I recall, and. Then they had this whole virtual tabletop thing, which was like, oh, we're doing this whole thing. And then they just utterly dropped it. So I'm not that clear on what the difference is, but you have your characters in there and campaigns you can track and keep, it's tools for the 5e players, basically. And but they said something in the presentation. It's like, something about a search thing or something. They're like, oh, that's, he referred to it as that's a well-known problem that we're addressing. It's like, you don't have that taken care of. So I don't use it. I don't know. But the one thing about it that they mentioned was they have this, their LFG, what was this? It was local. It was something about finding players. And I found that strange. It's like they're, it's a tool to basically find people to play with, which, is fine. That is an issue, I suppose. But, on one hand, a lot of people are pushing that, oh, D&D is so ubiquitous and everybody knows about it and everybody loves it and wants to play it. Yet they need to have more tools than ever to allow people to play it. And there was another thing about looking for groups. Thank you, Jeff. About having your first experience with a professional DM. So they, what this is saying to me is things aren't as rosy as they as they seem or like to present that as being, and they are needing to keep providing tools because they're probably not getting as many new players and they're losing more players than they want to. So they're trying to provide tools to keep people coming into the game, which is no problem, right? I mean, obviously that's what any company would want, right? But I'm just saying that this kind of, says what the real story is.
Yeah, they've kind of watered it down. I mean, when we played it, right? Part of the playing it when you were a kid was because it was dangerous, right? And parents wouldn't want you to be, fighting demons and casting spells and doing all these things that, it was kind of, a little bit rebellious, right? And now it's like, make sure you sign this thing so you won't ever see anything that would make you upset or any of that stuff. Like,
that's the safety tools thing.
That for?
That's all. I'm glad you brought this up, and I will rant about it. It's if at some point you would like to hear it. Joe Manganiello said something about the satanic panic, and I think it was really stupid. But I can rant about that later if necessary.
Yeah, I mean, it was stupid, and it was it was just a game these kids did. But I mean, it probably helped them sell a lot of shit after the satanic panic came. Mm-hmm. Kids are like, oh, now I really want to play it, right? My parents don't like it. All right, let's play it. Right. Weatherman says 85 million books were printed in 2025. Only 50 million were sold. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Don't print $85 million worth of books if you're only going to sell 2/3 of that. Jeez.
There's been talk about the I think it was the 2024 edition, which is now they had finally admitted it's 5.5. I guess they're officially calling it 5.5 edition. It's it was touted to be this great success, and there's controversy about whether that data is true or supports that claim. I'm guessing again, D&D took greatly benefited from COVID, right? People are locked in their house. They got nothing to do. They had money put in their hands by inflation, like nonsense ideas. So it spiked, right? And I don't think it's possible to maintain that level of growth. And I'm sure they've seen it come down. So what do? You squeeze more out of fewer people. That's how these things tend to go.
Yeah.
But I can't really comment on all that knowledgeably, but that's my general sense. And that they have felt the repercussions of pissing on people that have played the game for 40 years.
Well, yeah, because those people are gonna my daughter is a new she's 19, right? So she's the new group she was playing a couple years ago and stuff like that. But she doesn't really play anymore, right?
Oh, really?
It was just kind of thing. Yeah, you stuck your toe in it, try it out a little bit, which happens all the time, right? But you gotta be stupid for pissing off people like yourself and Jeff who've been playing for 40 years. Yep. And around there. I mean, that's just crazy. Those are the people that are going to be there forever and still want to play it. And these people are fair weather coming in, coming out. But basically, D&D Beyond is the virtual tabletop for the game, right?
Well, I don't even think it's a virtual tabletop. Jeff can speak to that because their virtual tabletop.
It's kind of. Oh, it's not the virtual tabletop. It's just virtual. It's just app tools, or
I am not an expert on that. All I know is they had a whole virtual tabletop system that they dumped. I don't know if there's something with that still retained in D&D Beyond. Jeff could probably speak to that. But I know that their whole thing that was like high graphics and all this stuff was they just dropped it. It launched basically in a month or something. They just said, well, we're done with that. We're not doing anymore. So I don't know everything that's involved with D&D Beyond, but it is at least tools. Okay, Jeff says character manager, way to look up books digitally. So Jeff, does it have a virtual tabletop associated with it or any of those kinds of functions, mapping and stuff?
And there's a charge, right? Like it's a subscription.
Yeah, I think it's a monthly fee. Yeah.
So it's once again, it's the usual trying to get a subscription from people, just like Microsoft Office, or any of these other.
Yeah, Jeff, that's okay. Just does it include a virtual tabletop? That's all we need. We don't really want to go too deep into D&D Beyond, but
yeah, we just want to. Yeah, we're just high level.
Yeah. So these were kind of the D&D Beyond stuff was kind of minor announcements, really. And Jeff points out that there was a 12-year-old that they got to come out and speak about it. He's just a very young looking guy.
Okay. Dungeons & Dragons Warlock video games. Do we want to skip this over? I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I don't really know about it. I don't care either. It's a video game.
It's not a video game.
Yeah. Okay, Jeff says yes. There is some.
Yes, it is a full. Okay. World of Warcraft crossover. Are you thinking about that? Or is that kind of the...
Yeah, this actually segues into the bigger issue, which is the Universes Beyond idea. You want to talk about that first? Or you want to just talk about the World of Warcraft?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, Universes Beyond is a title that they use to describe a certain segment of products that has been for Magic the Gathering. For those people that don't know, Magic the Gathering is a trading card game, or a collectible card game as it used to be called, where you buy randomized packs of cards that have different rarities. You build decks out of this pool of cards, and you play against other players. It's been around for 33 years.
30-something years, yeah.
And it remains fairly popular, and I think it's still the biggest. Okay.
But anyway,
fair criticism. I played it starting in '94 and left, sometime, and I've kind of dipped my toe back, over the years. But it's okay. It's a very stale game in my opinion at this point. But the Universes Beyond segment is sometime back. I'm trying to remember what the first Universes Beyond product was. It wasn't Lord of the Rings, I don't think, but it was anyway. Universes Beyond is them taking some external IP and creating products for that external IP within the game of Magic. For example, I mentioned Lord of the Rings. There's Ninja Turtles. There's Warhammer 40K. There's Marvel superheroes. Well, not yet. But there is a Star Trek one coming out.
But is that in there?
No,
Does this sit here?
no. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
All right, that's different.
We're talking about Magic now. So these are things, and they have, some people like to claim, oh, it's been a huge success. Some of them have been a huge success. Some of them sell out like crazy, and their prices have skyrocketed since. So the Warhammer 40K ones, for example, and it depends on there's different ways they do this. They have a format called Commander, which has become very popular, which is a multiplayer format. And so I think all the universes beyond have come out with Commander decks. Like the Warhammer 40K is just Commander decks. The Doctor Who one was just Commander decks. But other ones like the Spider-Man and the Marvel ones, they're putting out their regular product line with those, which means like booster boxes, meaning randomized packs of cards. And so they put out this block of stuff. It's like, okay, Lord of the Rings. It's they put out their normal product offerings under this IP. And so far these have just been like one shot things. It's like the Doctor Who things. It's just boom, that hits, that's it, and they're done. They move on to the next one. Now, and so I think the only ones that were repeated so far is they had Spider-Man first, and then now they've had Marvel heroes. So it's beyond Spider-Man, and then the Lord of the Rings one, and then they're coming out with a Hobbit one that's about to come out, I think, this fall. So those are kind of related, but they're really separate. And I originally those didn't mix into the regular Magic releases. They were kind of just their own encapsulated thing. But I've heard rumors, and I don't know if this has been confirmed or not, that they're going to be doing only Universes Beyond coming up soon, once they kind of run out of the things they still have in the pipeline for their own internal Magic IP. I don't know if that's true or not, but it wouldn't surprise me. And if that's the case, then unless they're dumping their standard format gaming, which is used in tournaments and things, those things would have to be tournament legal, or the game would be dead, meaning static, no more new product. So I don't know if that's true. Okay, as this relates back to D&D, now they're doing Universes Beyond Dungeons and Dragons, which World of Warcraft, I believe, is the first one of these. World of Warcraft, of course, is a third-party IP. So they are putting out a version of Dungeons and Dragons that is in the World of Warcraft world with their own rules and other things. Very similar to, it's really kind of the same as Dark Sun. I'm not saying it's every product.
So it's not like Magic. It's not a Magic card game.
No,
this is a classic Dungeons and Dragons RPG, except that they'll use the lore of World of Warcraft.
Yeah, this is 5th edition D&D, 5.5, whatever they call it now, with World of Warcraft. So they're reskinning D&D with World of Warcraft is what it is. Now, at first time ever, that's right. They're saying, oh, the first time ever you could play, you roll your D20 in the world of Azeroth. I said to myself, this isn't true. I have a World of Warcraft book from 2003. Now, I was wrong about that. I said this on Jason's. It was actually Warcraft, just Warcraft, which came out.
The original Warcraft game.
Correct. And
orcs it was a real-time strategy game, orcs and humans, and chop down trees and stuff. Yeah.
Right, but it was the same kind of thing. It was made by a third party, but it was an officially D&D branded, multi-branded. D&D was one of them. Product, and it was Warcraft, and I was mixing those up in my head. And then in 2005, I think they came out with one that was World of Warcraft, but it was fully third party. It wasn't D&D cross-branded, even though it was 4.3.5 through the OGL and fully compatible. So they're kind of like going on this narrow line to say first time ever, which is really not true if they're talking about the world. The world has already been published. The IP has already been published, just not specifically the World of Warcraft product within the IP. Anyway, so this is essentially...
Sorry, just before you go on. So Weatherman's comment there, I think you're listing all of the Magic the Gathering Universe Beyond stuff right there. I think
there's more than that.
Oh,
but more? That's quite a few, if not all, though.
Yeah.
That's pretty close.
All right. Sorry, go ahead, Gavin.
and they're, I don't know, you could probably scroll up and see. I forget exactly what products they're putting out, but there's probably a setting book, a essentially a player's handbook kind of thing. So this is very closely parallel to the Dark Sun, like what they're putting out for Dark Sun setting.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and
Except
this
in
is
World of Warcraft. Yeah.
right. It's just kind of being treated as a separate setting for Magic, even though it's, I'm sorry, for D&D, even though it's an
Yeah, it's like
external
Forgotten
IP.
Realms or Greyhawk.
Right. Yes. And so,
Themes.
okay. Yeah. So here you go. They're talking about,
Yeah,
they were play tested secretly. So new subclasses, revised edition. Okay. So let's see. Dungeons and Dragons will be launching. A new book is intended to let players play.
yeah.
As
Go
wild
ahead,
class
read it.
species.
Yeah, read it. You want me to read it out louder?
Sure.
Let's plays every WoW class and species. 11 new species appearing in the book. 9 subclasses. 6 of the subclasses are brand new to Dungeons and Dragons. 3 5e subclasses updated. 26 magic items. 30 dungeon boss states. 60 spells. Rules for mounts, companion creatures, and professions. 3 versions of the new book will be made available, including a special collector's edition with Horde insignia on one side, Alliance on the other. All right.
So
Part of the D&D Dungeons Dragons Universe Beyond line. Yeah, all right.
So now, if you read down there, they're saying they're planning on striking a careful balance between their normal D&D product lineup and the D&D Beyond lineup to prevent things from getting too. I can't see what it says there. What's the last?
Too
word?
bloated.
Too bloated. Oh, okay. So what they're going to do is what I said that they did in Magic. It sounds like, and that is they're going to silo it or encapsulate it as, oh, this is just for playing in this world. Because I guess I don't know that that's true, but that's a good idea from one standpoint because they already suffer from a massive amount of bloat and power creep, and the more you add, the worse the problem gets. Period. There's no getting around it. No playtesting, no designer can ever beat a million players. It's just not going to happen. So what they're doing, though, essentially, is they're going to be selling you another version of D&D every time they do this. Convenient, I guess. Well, yeah, it may be, and I'm of two minds on this. And on one hand, I'm thinking, yeah, this is going to succeed. Some of these things are going to succeed, right? Just like some of the Universes Beyond ones have succeeded. And for Magic, I suspect that the majority of them have succeeded for Universes Beyond, or they would stop doing it because they like making money. And this probably will too. And make money in certain cases. But I would, what works for a collectible card game that is based on a rotating number of products coming and going, that's not what role-playing games are. And you can't, nobody has time to consume role-playing games like that at that pace. Most people play once a week kind of thing, if that. And so you will have completionists and you will have fans of WoW or Star Trek or whatever that will be like, I'm buying that thing, right? But that's a niche market by definition, right? So they might say, and I'm sure they want to say, hey, get those Warhammer people in here and buy this. These people don't buy Magic or D&D normally, but they will for this. So they'll come in and they'll flood and they'll spend their money there. But they're not likely to then say, oh, I love D&D. I'm going to buy more D&D products. They'll probably stay in that silo, right?
Now, hold on. Now, I'm not a big World of Warcraft player. I've never played it, though I know lots about it. But isn't World of Warcraft just like a computer version of a role-playing game?
Yes.
And so now you're going to take a computer version of a role-playing game and turn that computer version back into a role-playing game where it came from anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't seem to be
right. But all right. Okay. So what's the upshot of this? They're going to keep selling you the same game with some different content again and again and again. So imagine this is like DLC, but they're going to sell you essentially a new player's handbook for every one of these systems, a new setting guide, probably not a new DMG, but
well, they're going to be making, but they're going to fragment, their
yes,
because no one's going to, there's only a small fraction. Like if I like WoW because I like WoW. I'm not going to play WoW I've got my online friends and I know them and I played WoW for a long time with them. I'm not going to try to convert that into a, otherwise why wouldn't I just play D&D, right?
Yes. Now, they're This will work to some degree, but I'm not sure what. But there's additional Again, it works for Magic. It doesn't necessarily work for this. It's not a problem to be like, oh, I'm pulling out my Magic deck and playing the Warhammer Commander, and we sit there and do that, and then we say, oh, what do you want to do next? Well, let's play the Doctor Who one. That's not a problem. You can't do that with a role playing game. It's not like, oh, here, let's play 1 hour of the WoW version and then shift over to the Dark Sun and play an hour of that. It just doesn't happen. And
like these things would be kind of like it's kind of like a novelty thing. If I really like Magic, hey, I also like Doctor Who. Let's see what they did with that. Oh, that's kind of cool.
Right. And some people like Jeff will buy. I'm not saying he's going to buy this, but some people are completionists, right? And they'll want to have all of it. And so what are they going to do? They're going to squeeze more money out of fewer people. That's what's going to happen. That is what every degenerate, I don't mean degenerate as in pervert, I mean downward spiraling company does to squeeze.
They try to squeeze more out of the because they can't get new customers.
Right. And
more out of existing customers.
Because apparently the people,
the next step is they die.
Right. And because the people at Wizards of the Coast believe history started in 2017, apparently, this has already been a problem. This is a proven problem in role-playing, and that was in second edition, where one of the problems, not the only problem, that led to TSR failing was that they put out a huge amount, and when I say huge, maybe a dozen settings, and they essentially compete with themselves. Forgotten Realms competes with Greyhawk and competes with Dragonlance and competes with Dark Sun and competes with Birthright, and on and on and on, because you can't physically play that much. You can't support that many campaigns, so that means that you're segmenting your own customer base. And they think,
and you're making, it's better to have one product that everybody buys than 10 different products that.
Well, yes, because all of these things cost, right?
Costs money to develop this stuff.
Right. Do you want to have one development cost and sell 1 million products, or 10 development costs and sell 100,000 each? Yeah. Obviously the one, right? That is more economically viable.
Exactly.
Well, they said, F that. We're going into this. So they're taking what was a problem in second edition, again, not the exact parallel, and they are going to supercharge it through this Universes Beyond.
See, I don't have a problem. I think it's smart to do something like you have D&D and all right, we're going to have a setting, right? Have this campaign in Greyhawk, and we've got these characters and this backstory and these towns that you can go to so you don't have to make up your whole thing. And here's a map of the world, blah, blah, blah. That makes sense to me, right? Sure. But you're using the same rules, right? It's it's simply a campaign setting. It's like, it's like playing a video game and playing on different maps, right?
Mm-hmm. And
that makes sense, but not completely different rules.
Having more than one is also fine too. Forgotten Realms and Greyhawk can certainly coexist. The 2 is certainly not too many. 3, 4, probably fine. 6, maybe not. 8, probably not. 12, no. It's like it's like, but they don't care, because all they're going to care about is like, bam, did we get the initial sales? Did we get this? And I don't know what their development costs for things like this are. Can they hire some needy person, just a game designer, and get them to do all the WoW stuff, and they get their little bit of money, and they print these things up, and they hook enough people? Can they make money on this? Probably. Weatherman's mentioning Universe Beyond, not already brought up. I'm not sure if this is a joke or not. Probably not. Arcane, Street Fighter, Fortnite, Creepshow, Evil Dead, Princess Bride, Jurassic Park, literally anything and everything they will do.
Universe Beyond, John Wick.
That they will do anything, because that and if they put all their eggs in this basket, which is what Magic is rumored to be doing, then you can be sure that this will be and
Universe Beyond Barbie.
I know a lot of Magic players. A lot of Magic players are like, "Oh, this is stupid. I hate this. This is I don't want this." But other things they do love. So
yeah, I'm not a big. I play card games, but I'm a LCG, not a CCG guy.
Right.
Limited card games, because I've seen guys, Magic, new Magic. I mean, a new one comes out every 3 months, right? The guy comes in, spends, drops $120, $150, whatever it was years ago, to buy a whole thing, and it just opens up all these fucking cards trying to get certain cards. It's like,
Right.
It's like gambling, man. It's an
Oh yeah,
addiction.
it totally is. And it's never. It is essentially never worth it. Buying sealed product is never worth it. For the most part. You might get lucky. But the funny thing is when you don't buy sealed product and people say, well, screw it, I'm not buying sealed product. I'm just going to buy whatever I want. Then suddenly there's a glut. So prices go up. So there is a balance point in there. But the thing this is doing is it's kind of an admission. It's like few people are talking about this. Well, maybe they are, and I don't see them. I'm talking about it and saying that this is an admission that your IP sucks, that your IP does not hold up. uh, meaning the Magic IP. There's a lot of Magic storyline out there, and now they're kind of like, oh well, we'd rather do third party IPs instead of that. Incidentally,
Yeah.
D&D was put out in Magic, some years back before the Universes Beyond label came into as their branding.
Well, I mean, Magic is basically D&D, like with
thematically, right? It's fantasy.
Thematically, I mean, everybody's stealing from it, right?
But a lot of people don't like this either. 30 years ago, my friends and I were like, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool if they put out a sci-fi Magic game, meaning the same basic rules,
Yeah,
but for a space setting?" And well, I guess years later, they eventually, 30 years later, they do it. But it's very hard, that I don't know if everybody cares about this. Some people probably don't, but I know a lot of players. It's like they do like the Magic world and the theme of it, and it's like, oh look, I'm bringing my Hatsune Miku into play with your classic Urza deck or something, and or Princess Bride, and so a lot of people are gonna be like, what? Oh, Weatherman says Lord of the Rings came out before the Universe Beyond labeling. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Anyway, so some people aren't going to like that,
There's
and
to me, for Magic, there's just so many better developed systems that are much more.
It's very, very dated. It is super
very
dated.
Yeah, there's so much more, things that can go on, in a card game.
Well, and
so much better ones, but.
I was shocked when I came back to the game in around 2013 or so, after not having played since the mid 90s, at how boring it was. It's like we had way fewer cards to work with back in the old days, and it was way more interesting. And now it's just like, bring out big creature, attack, dead. Okay, yay, boy, that's so super fun. And and everything is degenerate in that game. It's like card advantage, land advantage. It's all about.
Yeah. It tends to be power creep in any of these games.
Well, sure, but it's also the high level player. It's all about your manipulating things so you get your draw. If you don't get your draw, then you've done something wrong and you're going to lose. It's degenerated to that point.
Yeah,
meaning your opening draw. So it's not a good game. It was a great game. When it first came out, it was revolutionary, right? And now it's just dated. So that's another subject. So they're trying to, again, this is corporate mindset, right? There's like, hey, it worked over there, slap it on this and do the same thing and make money. Less cards create more strategy. Yeah, this is the thing about LCGs. Snob is not having things makes it more interesting, and having everything to work with isn't.
Well, the thing with LCGs is that everybody's got everything. Right.
Yeah, I understand.
So now you can, it's the thing is how you put those things together, right? So it's not like who can spend $1,000 and buy the most, of cards, and most LCGs will have a limit of.
I understand that.
3
but
cards.
What I'm saying is that becomes the game of the meta, though. It's like, oh, what's the meta for this? It's like something is going to rise to the top. It's going to be the best thing. When you had in the old, and it's the same in Magic today, because even though you're doing it in a different format, everybody has everything, right? If they want to, especially at high level tournament play, it's the exact same thing as LCGs in terms of the play, meaning there's a meta, and it's like, yeah, this is the thing. This is what works right now. It's a fine-tuned machine. In the old days, nobody had everything. It's like literally the stores would get in a handful of cards And it's like, I got that one, and there's only one of them, not the four that you could put in your deck. It's like, I got that one, and now I get to play that thing. It was just far more interesting, and you can't recreate that in today's world. It's just those days
Yeah.
are over.
For me, it's just it seems more fair that everybody can
It is.
whatever they want.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that how you get there is different, but because it certainly is. When you just buy, everybody just buys it as a fixed pack. But the play in the end ends up being the same, assuming
All right.
you have money. Okay, so they're banking. I think they're banking a lot on this. I think that this will be.
This is their big thing.
Yeah, this whole Universes Beyond thing.
Universe Beyond.
And there's another thing in Magic called Secret Lairs, which is like special edition cards, and typically they are reprints, like with different art and things like that. But it was like something that originally was kind of unique and rare, and then they just started just printing them like crazy, and they're just dropping them all the time, and it's kind of watered down. They undoubtedly.
It's like the 25 different variant covers and covers.
Yes. Right, exactly. It's the same thing. It's again, they're trying to squeeze more money out of fewer people. It's the same corporate negative corporate exploitative tactic. And if people are dumb enough to do it, okay, So,
all right. What about? Sorry. Next one.
Sure.
New public partnership will support multiple campaign settings. Is this?
Yeah, this is. So they announced. I think it was Ravenloft, Greyhawk, and Forgotten Realms, that they're farming these out to third-party developers for things. And this was relatively minor. It's like, oh, we're doing this adventure or something, and this seemed like weak to me. It's like, what? Why are you even talking about this? But they're doing that. Again,
Ravenloft Products, Ghostfire Gaming, third-party horror theme.
Oh, Eberron. I'm sorry, that was the other one.
Yeah, Eberron Adventures.
Right, and I'm like,
Global Press will make it Forgotten Realms.
Yeah, and again, what's this revealing? That they don't have talent in house.
Yeah, they can't.
It's like every one of these things is like, look behind, the man. Oh, we're saying this now. Look at the reason behind it. And it's like none of these things are particularly positive, in my opinion. It doesn't mean that they're not going to make money, though. There's two different things. It's making a good product and serving a customer, and making money are not necessarily the same things, and rarely are the same things, I think. Okay, so yeah, I didn't think there was much to this other than the fact that they're essentially outbounding things, which
outsourcing, like Disney can't make any movies anymore; they outsource it.
Right. Here we go. This was the end, the big after some
big reveal.
After some cringe crap in there, which I mentioned was cringe at the beginning. They had a bunch of theater kids running around on stage acting like idiots, which made me want to vomit. But at the end, they came around and they're like, "Oh, we forgot. Oh, there's one more thing." And then they had this little presentation. Yeah, right. Again, it was cringe.
They forgot they had this presentation. Good thing they.
Yes, and then they again pretended that nothing existed before 2017, and then they had a thing where they had, oh, look, Darth Vader breathing, and then they get, I think this was live on stage, not on the screen. They had the Darth, oh, look, it's Darth Vader, and it's like, wow, that's great. So
Darth Vader is going into D&D. He's like,
this is yet another universe. This is their second Universes Beyond, right? Is Star Wars Dungeons and Dragons, which is stupid because number one, Wizards of the Coast already put out multiple versions. They had one and then they revised it, as I recall. Star Wars games that were they were D20 games, so essentially the same system, but it wasn't Dungeons and Dragons Star Wars. It was using a very similar rule set to produce a Star Wars role-playing game. That's kind of a distinction without a difference in some ways. But other people have said, oh, look, two flagging brands that you're going to smash together and try and make a success. So yes, they're going for Star Wars with the Universes Beyond, and I'm sure what remaining Star Wars fans will go for it, I guess. This seems like a bad match, and a game that's made for fantasy role playing isn't necessarily a good game for sci-fi. You can't just slap something over that and expect it to work well. Can you make it work?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, the thing is, Star Wars is kind of more, it's more fantasy with
okay, but there's spaceships, right? There's fighter combat. There's a lot of things that
it's
don't
like a
cross
horse,
over
right?
well.
Fighter, maybe.
Yes,
Maybe okay.
I mean,
maybe you're right. Maybe it's a little bit different. Space Wizards, baby. Yeah. You know what? After Return of the Jedi came out, guess what? The teenage me. Guess what? My first shot at making my own character class for, I guess, first edition was out for Advanced D&D was.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what it was?
A Jedi.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah, of course. Again, people.
Everybody did that.
Yes, right. And that's fine. That's fun. I've played Star Wars, our own homebrew Star Wars games going back to the early 80s, mid 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, played a lot, had great times with them. But like you said, some people are into that and some people want to be handed something. But, again, there have been and are Star Wars role-playing games. You have the West End Games one, which was the first one, a D6 system, which is beloved by people, had a lot of great stuff that actually kind of made it into the Star Wars universe. A lot of these things were established in that game. This is kind of in the dead zone after Return of the Jedi, right? Before the prequels. And then, like we said, the WotC Star Wars games based on the D20 system. And then there is, it was Fantasy Flight Games, which was bought by Asmodee, and Edge Studios is the house in which the Star Wars role-playing game exists today. They have those were fairly well received too. I don't know that they're huge successes, but they had a lot of products and they had like multiple product lines depending on the style of game you wanted to play. For example, if you wanted to play kind of a Jedi based one, they had different like starter boxes and rule books. They are all compatible,
right?
But they had different focus.
A more normal.
Right. There's like ones that was like rogues and
you're all bounty hunters,
smugglers and stuff. Right. Yeah. I think there were 3 different ones they had. It was Age of Rebellion. It was basically based on the Rebellion, based on the Jedi, and based on the smugglers and stuff. So, but people have checked since this came out, and they're like, that company still has the license for this. So even though they haven't been producing much lately, apparently they still have the license to do role-playing games. So now we're going to have 2 concurrent Star Wars role-playing games. But see, here's the thing with the Universes Beyond. These are going to be one and done things, is my guess, for all of them. They're just going to drop it in your lap and go. And like you were saying before, it's like, oh, well, that people want more content. Well, you're not going to have more content if they do the one and done thing. It's going to be, oh, here's Doctor Who. And it's like, you paid for it and sorry, we're gone. We're moved on to the next thing, you know. And again, that might be okay when you have a game like Magic where you can mix those cards. It's like you could play Leonardo with Captain Kirk. Mechanically it all works, right? Even though it's dumb thematically, it does work mechanically just fine. But they were talking about
Leonardo next to Darth Vader,
right? But in this game or in role playing games, what they were talking about with the Warcraft, if they are siloing these things, it's like, this is only for use within this setting, then those things won't mix. And I don't know anybody would want to or not.
I can't see how you couldn't, you couldn't, how you do it and not silo it, right?
Yeah,
because there's bound to be something that's way overpowered. It was quite work, right?
It will be. Because if you can put A1 and Z4 together, you're going to find a combination that's broken, right? I mean, guaranteed. You
can't play test this stuff enough.
No, there's no way. And they're not even going to try. And Weatherman says, I'm surprised they didn't drag out the High Republic. They might, who knows, depending on, I
think they've given up on that.
It was a good sign. It was Darth Vader. This was classic Star Wars. And could this be something okay? Maybe. But here's my opinion. If Outpost Nerd was here, I'm sure he would pound the table and yell at me. But five, I have very little experience with 5 D&D. But I've read it and I've kind of kept on in the news and stuff. And there's a lot of criticism of it that to me is defining it as not a particularly stable, good, balanced foundation for these things. And now they're going to dump a bunch of crazy crap on top of that. And these are going to be the jankiest, dumbest games. However, their customer base, their community is more than happy with that crap. They love the superhero fantasy role playing stuff where no one can die unless you're a complete moron or, the DM goes berserk on you. Within the framework that they've set out, it's almost impossible to die. And maybe they're like, oh, great. So my character in Star Wars also won't die and will be super powered God. And I can pretend that I've accomplished something, by playing a no challenge game and whatever. So to me, this is a horrible idea that's going to water down their already shaky game. And customers are going to become resentful of this, except for the fanboys. They'll slap down their money faster than you can guess. It's just a matter of how many fanboys there are versus how many people that are like, no, I'm done with this. I don't need this. And that's the game. That's the roll of the dice that they're making, in my opinion.
Yeah. The good thing about role-playing games versus computer games or anything is that, you buy the book, you get whatever you want, and then you can keep playing it. You can still play basic D&D. You can still play first edition, second edition, whatever you want, right? I played some City of Heroes as well, Weatherman. So that's a good thing. You can always go back and you can always just, hey, we're going to play the old way. We're going to home rule a bunch of stuff.
Mr. Melkto says, what happens to all those Star Wars PG books from 15 years ago? They're not compatible with this. But the good news is, like Sam was saying, you could play it. You could pick it up and play it today if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that people don't, that's what they don't want you to remember. And this is what old schooler gamers have said. They're like, I've probably said this on one of our shows. I don't need to buy a single product from WotC ever again. If I want to play Magic, I have plenty of Magic cards I can play. If I want to play D&D, I've got a slew of versions to choose from, and then other producers of the games that if I do want something new, I don't need to spend a dime on WotC ever again. And that's what maybe they've come to the realization, and they know. So they're going to do everything possible to entice you to keep giving them money.
Yeah. I mean, you could even do things like, I'll pop up Dean's, Dean's game.
Yes.
Untold Destiny, which, I'm not a big fan of RPGs. And I tend towards, I think that, fantasy medieval ones are overplayed. But I played Dean's game and I'm like, wow, this is really dynamic. It's not, boring. There's lots of back and forth. They attack me, I can defend, I can do other options. It's a completely different system. And
because
you have way more experience with these. Yeah, you have way more experience with these type of systems than I do, Cam. So I don't really remember. I don't know a lot of different systems, but I'm like,
I'm glad you brought that up.
Superior system to what I remember from playing Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, like overall.
Well, now superior is kind of a loaded term, right? Some people will say it's not because they like what they've done it forever. What I think definitively it is, objectively is innovative. It's not just the same thing again and again and again. And Dean and Vicky have worked for a long time and very hard to come up with something that is different and is addressing problems that they experienced in their many, many years of playing. Some people may like it, some people may not, but I strongly suggest you check it out, and you can do so right now for free on DriveThruRPG. Look up Untold Destiny, and you can download their taster rules and see how to play and actually play at first level. and they will be coming out with an adventure, a published adventure that you can also play if you don't want to go at it on your own in sometime this fall.
And I think Watsy's crazy because it's Dean and his wife, and they've come up with this, and they're going to publish it in the fall, right? And you're going to get a system, a full system, and this is two people making it up in their house over the last couple of years.
Yes,
and there's other people doing the same exact thing though too, right? And
and I don't know what the cost will. Thank you, Jeff, for putting that link up there.
Yeah.
Check that out, everybody, please. And obviously these are our friends, but I also think that it is a genuinely innovative game that you should check out for free. There's no downside to it.
I'm getting money to do this, Cam.
Are you? Dang it. Yeah. Dean's not giving me a dime.
I'm kidding. He's not giving me a dime
either. I'm guessing.
Here's the drive-through RPG link. Jeff, pop that up there too.
I don't know what
it's great.
The pricing will be for Dean's basic edition game that is.
I don't think he's decided yet, to be honest.
Yeah, right. But I'm guessing it will be around or less than the cost of one of these D&D books.
Yeah, I would think he would probably have very aggressive pricing because he wants people to buy it, right?
Yeah, and well, not to mention, what my point is, you will get a complete game that you could play and enjoy for many, many years for the price of one sliver of the crap that Watsy's putting out. So,
yeah, and I saw, he's doing some nice artwork too. It's going to look, look very nice, I think. And supposedly this was supposed to be a sci-fi game, but he made it it's more classic D&D. But maybe that'll be next, which will fit in my wheelhouse, but even better. But hey,
well, that's true in the lore. The Untold Destiny is a post-futuristic game, meaning a futuristic world existed and has led to this. They are in the future of a futuristic world.
Mm. So there's lots of people out there being even more, even just as innovative, trying different things. So I think Watsy's, I think they're in a little bit of trouble, man.
Well, again, if what they've been doing, pissing on old school gamers, was the right thing, then why would they have changed it? A corporation doesn't change what works.
That's crazy to throw away your old customers without the proof that you're gonna I mean, like I said, my daughter, she played with it, she stuck her toe in it a little bit, and she liked playing a tiefling and stuff like that. I was like, what the hell's that? But now, but they never were that serious about it, right? Like, it's just like, something to do. Right. They like anime, right? They don't like.
Well, don't worry, there'll be an anime version that comes out.
Smart. Okay. Any last things about D&D?
No, I could say more, but I don't need to.
Okay, we've done an hour and a half, so we got to move on a little bit. So there's some other games that I found. Well, two other games that I found that I thought might interest Cam. Cam is very picky, but there's tons of games that come out at Gen Con, and there's just too many to cover. Too many, but I found two that Cam might like. So let me I think I got to set this up. Let me just put this here. All right, it might take me a second here. Whoops. Get rid of that. Did I screw it up? All right, I screwed it up, I think. Let me find. All right, I'm gonna have to reset this up. Sorry. Let's add a screen. Okay, here we go. Let's do the first one first. Okay, let's do, I think we want to do the Board Game Geek one. Just that'll give everybody a little bit of a background. So, Lord of the Rings, Circle of Conflict. You want to say anything about this, Cam, or do you want me to just...
Well, you could talk about it if you want. I mean, I just got to look it up a little bit on Board Game Geek, and I was starting to watch a video about it. It's designed. Stephen Bonacore is a name that I recognize, and Jeff Engelstein is too. These are both the board game design. These are experienced board game designers.
Yeah.
Um,
two to four players, 60 to 90 minutes, 14 plus, 2.5 out of 5 waiting, so not too much. And what was that other Lord of the Rings game that you were playing that you got?
I was playing Fate of the Fellowship.
Fate of the Fellowship. And you like that better than like War of the Ring? It's a little faster. It's a little.
Yeah. It's pandemic. It's Lord of the Rings pandemic, but very much.
Pandemic, right?
It doesn't feel like pandemic to me. It feels like Lord of the Rings. They did a great job at converting that game. It's not just a reskin. But the core mechanic is pandemic, whereas this one is totally different.
Totally different.
Don't remember playing a game exactly like this. It's a write and roll game, as I understand it, and which I don't have that much experience with. I watched like half a video on this. It looks cool. It's kind of it's a simultaneous game, so you're like playing against the two people adjacent to you. At the same time, you're playing both sides. So against the person to your left, let's say you're playing the shadow against their fellowship, and then on your left side, you're playing the fellowship against the other guy's shadow. Which is kind of interesting. Again, I kind of got a very loose idea of it, but this will be one that I will pick up and give it a try.
It looks interesting. Let me just. Okay, let's go. I'm going to go to the. I'll go to the other page here. The page for the company page. This might give some of these is a little better pictures. Yeah. So, looks like they're taking pre-orders, $50, November 6th. So let's just take a look at some of it. I mean, that looks like a pretty good box, eh?
Yeah. I think a $50 is pretty standard price for board game these days.
Yeah, that's not too bad, actually.
I'm guessing this is a small box game. This is not like a
huge.
The components aren't that extensive.
Here's an idea of the components.
I don't mind that though if it's a game that I get a lot of play out of. Like Fate of the Fellowship, I've gotten a crap ton of play out of that game.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, $50 isn't bad for a game in general. Usually they're more than that, but this is a little bit less. Okay, so this gives you a little bit here. Strategic dice game for 2 to 4 players. As you mentioned, against your neighbors simultaneously command both the Shadow and the Free People's Army. Strategic Middle Earth conflict. Simultaneous multiplayer tactics. That's interesting. Different way. Do you know other games that do that?
No, I'm not offhand. Not for this kind of game, at least. So yeah, this
Battle boards, dice. Oh, dry erase markers.
Yep. That's the roll and write portion of it. So yeah, it looks pretty cool. Again, I was watching the video. They there seems to be a lot of elements, really from Lord of the Rings. Again, I have a certain level of trust for the names of the guys that are the designers. So it's definitely one that I'm going to get.
All right.
It might suck though. It's always a toss up because it's a ton of personal preference in games, whether something clicks with you or not.
Does anyone know if there's going to be a new character in the next D&D movie? Are they doing another D&D movie, Cam?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I know they dropped that part from their corporation, the company that did that. So I don't know.
All right. We'll have to see. I don't know. It would be, it's always good to add a few new character in and something like that. All right. And the, okay. How the heck I can replace another screen share. Let's do the other one. Let me just scroll down here. Heck, where is it? That's right here. Okay, here it is. Here we go. Found it. All right. Okay, so this is a little bit different. This is, what was it called? Sonar or Captain Sonar?
Yes.
So Captain Sonar was, well, do you go ahead, Cap? Captain Sonar, you played it.
A little bit. So Captain, I'm trying to remember. Captain Sonar was the first game, which was a little more complicated, and they came out with a different one called Sonar, which was simplified a little, or for less players. And I played that one a few times, and I remember liking it, but it's been years ago, and I don't remember that much about it. Coming out with a Star Trek version of it.
Well, yeah, the point is it's a hidden movement game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, it demands coordination and deduction. So it's basically a Star Wars game based on that. Sorry, right. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, and different roles and such. I think this will be a cool game because, again, if you do take a game that's really cool and then you add a theme or an IP on top of it that also works well with that system, then that's good. That's the right way to do it, as opposed to just slapping something that doesn't fit on it, right?
Well, I mean, this would be kind of like Wrath of Khan, right? They're flying around the nebula, or trying to shoot each other, that kind of thing.
Balance of Terror, which was when they were fighting the Romulans, original Star Trek episode, where it was kind of run silent, run deeper, with the cloaking device and all that stuff. Yeah, so I think this could fit very well. This could be cool.
Players divided into two opposing crews, each commanding iconic starships from across the franchise history, with each vessel featuring unique builds for asymmetric gameplay. The game covers several generations of the saga, allowing players to step into the roles of Kirk, Spock, Picard, Data, even Cam and Joachim. Yeah.
Khan and Joaquin?
Joaquin. Joaquin was his number 2?
I don't remember that offhand. That might be
the guy was the guy who didn't like him much. All right.
Yeah.
And let me okay, so
the reasonable one.
Reasonable one. Let me pull up the other one. It's a little easily, Board Game Geek is fine, but I like to go to the actual company. They usually give you the better shots. So here is the company website. Get a little better look at some of the stuff here. Oh, that's you can see that. You know what? I'm going to expand that a little bit. That's not a bad little box, eh?
Mm-hmm.
From Managot Games.
Yeah, I've got a few games from them.
Oh, do you? No.
Yeah, that's a company that stands out as a positive to me. So
sci-fi deduction action points.
What does it have a date when this one's supposed to come
out? Just going through. Coming soon. Nope, doesn't say anything. I'm thinking you can buy. Yeah, you can get it. Yeah, I think you might be able to pre-order. I'm not sure if when it's coming out though. Coming soon. Description. So simple rules in the middle of the thing. Each team must destroy one opposing base before destroying the enemy ship to win. Form 2 teams. Sits to the side of the table, opposite sides of the screen. Federation or opponents. Take a marker. The captain of each team secretly determines their ship's starting point by drawing a cross at one of the intersections of the map. 2 teams play simultaneously until one of the 2 crews win. Captain moves the ship and activates its systems effectively as possible. The second locates the opposing ship in order to destroy it. All right, well, interesting. I haven't played Sonar, Captain Sonar. So, yeah.
Okay,
Only one
so
picture. This one might be a little bit more.
I was reading about, just looking this up in the forums. It said some time back that they were bringing 1,000 copies to Gen Con for early release, but then someone else said it's not being run or demoed. So I don't know if it actually was or not. But that's interesting. Now here's the thing. Here's
Weatherman. Ouch. Come on. All right.
The thing about board games is sometimes when they reskin or come out with another version of them, they fix some things. It's like essentially
Yeah.
it's the same game, but they do tweak it, and they learned from their experience, and oftentimes the next version is better. So
Yeah.
I would imagine that's going to be true for this too. And again, if you're a Star Trek fan, it's like, this might do it. So this one is this is not a for sure buy for me, but I will definitely consider it.
Yeah. So so I had trouble finding things. There's not a lot of, all the stuff out of Gen Con was very high level stuff, eh? Like they couldn't, I had trouble finding a list of
I did
people
too.
who were there and just, what they were releasing and stuff, like the little guys, like it was all like, oh, come to the D&D thing. Oh, we got this thing about diversity in gaming and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, that's all. Gen Con sucks. They can go to hell.
They don't seem to,
to
be focused on, what people want, which is new games, right?
I'm sure there are a ton of games there, but
there's tons, yes. And there are some, we're not a gaming board game channel. There are some gaming board game channels which, put out this kind of information and said, I'm looking for these games. I'm going to go there for that. But there's just so many board games that come out. It's hard to keep track of all of them. There's thousands, a couple thousand every year, maybe.
I haven't been incredibly tuned into board games as much recently, so I'm not up on all of them. Something I just happened to see though it's called Lord of the Rings King's Gambit, which is a re-implementation of Star Wars Queen's Gambit, which I know was a really again, that was a hot game for at some point. It came out in 2000 and people really loved it. But again, that might be a little dated at this point. Board games, so some things hold up and some things don't, So
there's not too many sci-fi related ones. I was trying to find a few. I was finding lists of the best sci-fi board games for the last 10 years and stuff. It can be difficult to, wading through everything. And there's just so many different, like there are, there's tons of board games, but there's lots that would not appeal to us. Like it's just because of the theme or whatever, the way that they're run. Like it's just, lots of people would love them, but they're just, not for me sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
So different.
But that's it. I'm guessing if you were to put, all the board games in front of me, that half of them would appeal to me in some way. And maybe half of those would be ones I'm like, oh, I like that, because at least that's the way it used to be. I like I said, I can't say that I'm that in tune with the current trends in board gaming. But it was really good. When I was deeply immersed in it, there was a ton of good stuff. It was very seldom like, oh, that sucked. I wish I didn't get that, Well, I shouldn't say very seldom. You had at least a 50-50 chance of being like, that's a good game.
The point I was making, was that it's just there's so many out there that they just appeal to different people, right? Like you can just, you're gonna have to find things that appeal to you. But there's just something for everybody,
Yeah, and that's how things should be, right? It's like that's like manga in Japan. There's a manga for everyone.
Yes. Exactly.
Hey, Robert. Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, good to see you, Robert.
and there's no expectation that every manga will be something you want, right? It's like, that's fine. This is for you. This is for you. But like
Yeah.
American comics, it's like there have to be, uh, it's like, no, it's only for this. We're gonna box out everybody that doesn't, suit this, and that's just stupid. It's like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you want to appeal to different, different things to different people? It's like, well, because idiots are trapped into some kind of weird purity testing nonsense.
Yeah.
And that's, I should go back to D&D for 1 second. That's like what they're, I don't want to just piss on them completely, because what they're saying finally is the thing they should have been saying all along, right?
Yeah.
They never should have gotten to the point where they were pandering to sociopaths who hate Gary Gygax because he said something in an article retorting to some moron from
50 years ago.
79 or whatever.
Whatever.
It's just absurd. But that's the mindset that they went with, and I hope they are paying a price, and I hope they are changing their mind.
I think they are. I think they have paid a price. So
yeah. Ooh, King of Tokyo Godzilla edition.
Oh, you like that one?
I did. It says 2026. I haven't played it. It's first I saw it. King of Tokyo was a huge, popular kind of light game made by the designer of Magic Gathering, by the way. And I never really loved it. It was okay. It was kind of just, it was too light for me to really enjoy. But you add that onto an even better, well, I don't know. Is Godzilla better than King Kong and stuff like that? They're all cool. Or fake.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever they used, that's
Godzilla. Come on.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
People never gate kept out of these hobbies. These hobbies were all the people who were gate kept out of everything else.
Well, that's
the nerds never kept anybody out.
They didn't have the ability to keep anybody out, right? This is
that's why. That's why.
I rail on this all the time, but one of the biggest problems in the world and also in entertainment is fake victimhood, right? It's people, I was somehow victimized and not able to. No one can keep you from playing a board game. No one can keep you from playing Magic, you moron. Literally, is someone stopping you at the door and saying, I'm sorry, you are of group X, you're not allowed to buy King of Tokyo? No, it's stupid. The whole premise is absolutely stupid. But that's exactly what people pretend has happened to them. Why? Because that's currency to them, right? Oh, I was somehow not treated well. Okay, go play with your friends. Nobody can stop you. You see what I'm saying? So much has been an industry. The role-playing industry is having to backpedal and try to do damage control because that moronic mindset had been promoted. Someone said, "Let's promote that lie."
Yeah,
it's just,
and so now we're gonna make all these things to let everybody in, but everybody was let in the beginning, right? It's
yes,
like no one was kept out.
No one was ever kept out.
Good luck, Robert, in LA. Keep your head down.
Watch out for those drive-bys. Sorry.
True, with the Weiner complained that there was gatekeeping and no one could prove it. There was no gatekeeping. I mean, like I said, all the people who played these games were the people who were gate kept out of everything else, and they couldn't. They had to find their group, and these were the only people that would let them in.
If gatekeeping,
because they weren't gatekeeping, they were open to anybody.
If gatekeeping's so bad, then why did these people turn around and try and gatekeep people out? Oh, right. Yeah. That's it, isn't it? They just want to. It's projection, right?
Yeah.
Pretty plain. So anyway, we don't need to get into that any further.
Yeah. All right, we're getting near the end of it, but I'm going to put in a couple of my now. I kind of like this is kind of weird. I like Wargames, Cam.
Mm-hmm.
However, I don't have anyone to play with, and I've got a couple, and I barely touch them myself.
What level war game are you talking here? Are you talking about?
I like all kinds of different ones.
Cardboard chits playing the Battle of Gettysburg.
Yeah, but I mean, those are a little bit harder. Those are a little bit more, advanced. I would love to do some of those, but nobody wants.
I tried one once back in the 80s, and I'm like, nah, not for me.
But there are so many other new things now. So this is a new company that I found out. I haven't got any of their stuff, but it is. I'm looking at it, and I'm that's expensive. But I'm very tempted to pick up something. So these guys, Volca Simulations, they call themselves, and you look at the products; they're just very. I'm going to pull up here Overlord here. Let's see if we can. Can I get it? No, can I get into that pre-order? Pull up something. All right, I can't seem to get that up. I got the right. Maybe I don't have the right one open here. Let me try flipping it around here. Here's what I want. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so these are some of their games. Some of these are available now. Some of them aren't. But let's just look at, for example, Overlord 167. I think that's US. But just look at the it looks beautiful. Now, and here's an example of it on the table here, a bit better. Now,
Oh boy.
This one is okay. So this is a lot of them have gone away from the chits, or sorry, the little cardboard, and you have something like this where you've got blocks, or here's a division or battle group or whatever, an army, and a little a little higher up. But the interesting thing about this game, a lot of them have become a lot more innovative. So, for example, this one here is Operation Overlord. So it's, of course, the invasion of Normandy, right? So what happens is that the player playing the Allies pulls up cards, and he decides, they're sort of operational level things that happen, and he decides when these are going to happen. And the German player tries to stop those things from happening. So if I I might have, in the first turn, I might have 2 or 3 different operational level things that I'm trying to do. And if I do, one of them, or, whichever ones I do, I'll get victory points for. And the German stops me from doing them, he'll get victory points. So he might, so I'll pull these, I might pull from a certain number and decide I'm going to do, 1, 2, 3. And then the German player gets to look and see what you're doing. And he can decide, okay, well, he's going to try to do this. I'm not going to bother with that because I get more points if I can stop him from doing this, and maybe I'm more able to do that. So I'm going to do that. So it's kind of quite innovative, different things that are going on.
Okay, what am I missing here? That if they're this is what they're showing. What here is worth $167,000?
$167.
Yeah, I'm looking at the components here, and I'm like, this seems pretty basic.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
maybe there's more to it. I'm not seeing here, but wood blocks and a board and some cards. That is pretty baseline components. $167 is a lot of money.
It is pretty. It's pretty high. A couple other ones that are interesting here. Imperial Elegy. This is like a 6-player game. The Road to the Great War. So it's a lead up to World War I with 6 players. So you can like 6. You hardly ever see any of these games with 6 players. They're usually 2 or more, but it's only 2 sides. So you can set up alliances with each other. You're trying to get your national goals. You'll start out with one of the national goals, for example, is Germany is split right before World War I. So part of what Bismarck was doing was uniting Germany. So this is something that he that the German player can try to do, unite Germany, so that that's points for him plus more power, etc. So this one here is very interesting. And this one has been out. This one's been out for a while. So you see, there's an update pack for it. They changed some of the rules, and they go, okay, these things are different. They fixed some stuff. There's two more I want to mention. There's two of them here. One about this is a little bit cheaper here. 104, the new Cold War, and also over here you've got Red Strike, which is this is 1989. Basically, the Cold War goes hot, right? So that's a fairly not super common. World War II is much more common, but it's a fairly interesting. Not a lot of games on there doing that, and also the new Cold War is similar. I think it's beyond. It's not. It's more. You can see here. It's a more global, and it's a Cold War. Okay, it takes place between 1989 and 2019. Players manage one of the great powers, vital to set in the new world order. So basically, the Russians, Soviet Union falls. Who's going to win? The U.S., EU, resurgent Russia, or China? That kind of thing. So that's a somewhat different idea. While the other one is just a battle of the Cold War. And the last one I wanted to highlight, which sounds interesting, is where is it? I don't think it's. I don't think it's on here. I think it's a pre-order. It's coming soon. Pacific Fleet. I mean, there's lots of interesting things here, but Pacific Fleet. Look at that! Cam, you can save 10% if you pre-order. This one seems very. If you like naval stuff, it's all integrated warfare, coordinating aircraft carriers, battleships, cruiser task force, amphibious assaults, strategic bombing, land offensive, air superiority, convoy operations, submarine operations. It seems like it's got every aspect of it together. So these guys have a reputation of being, like highly detailed, great rules, well thought out, well play tested. Components that are quality. It's not cheap though, but yeah. So I haven't played any of these. Of course, these is just my my wish list sort of. I'm going, these look all great. I'd love to play more operational or strategic level war games. I just need somebody to play with. Nobody wants to play.
Good luck. Bribe one of your kids.
Yeah, they're girls. Come on, they're not gonna do any of that. So anyway, I recently came upon these guys and started checking around and saying, "Wow, it looks like they got some, good stuff. I'd love to give it a try." But anyway, yeah.
Just a quick note: Free League, which publishes the Blade Runner and Alien and the other game Coriolis sci-fi role-playing games that I have mentioned before on the show.
Right.
Excuse me. They're putting out their own digital format thing like D&D Beyond we talked about. I don't know that this is going to be something I'm interested in, but I thought I'd mention it. And the Coriolis game was nominated for some awards. I don't think they ended up winning. I got to look into that a little further. But apparently that has made a bit of a stir. And so that's just kind of a little sci-fi related note.
Yeah. And these games are not sci-fi related, of course, but yeah. All right. That's about all we have. All right. So, Robert, is Robert taking off? You got a hotel to build. Oh, geez, man. In LA. All right.
Robert's a regular viewer of Jeff's channel.
Yeah. Good to see you. He's come in here a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
Long running game. I think Weatherman's talking about these games. Yeah, I'm hoping to when I fully retire, I'm hoping to go to the when I go to the old folks' home, there'll be someone else there who wants to play either poker or war games, and we just do that all the time. Yeah. Okay. I think that's about it, Cam. Anything else you have? That's it for the show. Yeah. you thinking?
I really want to play more games,
I know.
board games and role playing games.
Yeah.
Oh well, I don't know if anybody. Oh, just quick note here: what you're showing on the screen, the background is that's the Lucas Oil Center in Indianapolis, which is it's walking distance, and they have tunnels and stuff that go between that and the convention center. I'm not sure what they're doing in here. It looks like they got some kind of tournament or just gaming space, but uh, I I really liked the way that they did this before. Like the last time I was there, they had like a display of a bunch of old D&D like historical things, like letters between Dave Arneson and Gary Gygax and such. This was before COVID. A lot of cool stuff they had in there, and to me, using this space, I wish they use this space more. It's really cool, and works well with the rest of the convention center too. So
Yeah. They got rained out, eh?
yeah, I saw something about that.
Leaks in the roof. There was a tornado warning and high winds and rain. And
I don't know
like
who got hit by that, but that will wipe out your product real quick. Board games, are paper essentially, and cardboard. So
yeah. Poor, I pity those.
It wasn't like a few leaks. It was like water pouring in.
Yeah, water pouring out of the roof and stuff. It was pretty brutal. Yeah. Thanks for coming by, Robert. I appreciate you. All right, so what's coming up?
Wait.
Oh, what?
I have one more. I have another Gen Con recollection of them sucking. I worked for a company, volunteered, I should say. Well, I guess I worked for them. And we're doing setup at Gen Con, and they decided that it cost too much money to turn the air conditioning on setup day. It was like 105 degrees in there. It's like people, of course, moving a bunch of stuff. It was the most miserable time I've ever had. So yeah, that was some BS. It was literally dangerous. It's like people were passing out and stuff. So.
Oh my god,
idiots!
That's smart. The people who are doing all the work. Screw them.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Anyway, sorry.
All right. Yeah, no problem. So coming up, we've got Babylon 5 in first we got Tuesday I'm going to be on Madman's show. He's going to talk about the box office. We're going to look at Spider-Man and see how much money it made over this weekend. Oh, fistfuls of dollars. Apparently, we'll see. And then, of course, on we've got Babylon 5 on this Wednesday. Oh, what are we doing on Babylon 5? What? I haven't watched the show.
I haven't either. Episode 10?
Is it episode 10 already?
I think so.
Are we on episode 10? Racing Mars. Yes. Last we saw Marcus and Dr. Franklin were on their way to Mars. So I guess we're going to find out what happens when they get to Mars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wait, you got a super chat.
We'll check that out. What? There's a super chat. Thanks, Robert. Appreciate that.
$2.
Robert lets a super chat for $2 US. That's like $1 million Canadian. So I'm now rich.
Thank you.
Yeah. And
I get nothing of it. I get $0.
Well, you can get half of.
Of course, Google's going to take 40% of that or whatever. So.
Yeah. The doc is macking on chicks again, says Jeff. I guess he saw it already. Yeah, thanks, Robert. We appreciate that. It'll helps keeps the show running. Thanks.
Absolutely appreciate it.
And And next week on this show, I have. I think I know what I want to do, but I'll have to talk to Cam after that. We got some stuff coming up. We got to talk about movie night. Cam, movie night's coming up. I got a couple of suggestions. I'm gonna let Cam pick the movie again. He likes picking the movie. So I got some suggestions, but we can go wherever. So we'll announce that next week for sure. What movie night's gonna be. All right.
Just real quick, Weatherman. I don't think Lucas Field was the part that leaked. I think it was the convention center main display, or the.
It was. It looked like it was a convention. It wasn't like this. It wasn't a big. It wasn't like this. It was. Yeah, it was obviously a flat roof. There was vendors out selling. Artists the thing I saw, they were bringing, those things they used to carry garbage in, like those big rolling,
they dump the garbage cans into.
Yeah, you dump. Yeah, you take the bag of full garbage, dump it in, and you take them to the back. They were using those to try to catch the water. They're putting them under these giant leaks. There was water running the floor, and everybody's like, "Holy crap!" So yeah, it was great.
Yep.
Yeah. Marcus, they're on their honeymoon. Yeah. All right. Okay, that's it for the show. Anything got Cam? Last chance?
No.
All right, good. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Wasn't really sci-fi related. We get into D&D a little bit, but the controversy of it, that was the biggest things that came out. There didn't seem to be too many sci-fi games that came out that were brand new. And I saw some, the re-release of Twilight Imperium, but that's like old news, man. Like that's from a year or two ago. I mean, that's not really new. Yeah. All right. Okay, that's all. Next Sunday, Jeff is doing a special stream with Emperor's Choice Games guys. Oh, I have a thing or two to give away. Oh, giveaway. Oh, wow, giveaway. Oh, Jeff wants jokes. He needs more jokes. Okay, Cam. I have some jokes then. These are all Dungeons and Dragons related.
Oh, okay. Before you do that, JT has hung in the whole show. He wasn't
right on.
You
made it.
Yep.
You made it
Thanks.
to the end. You survived. Right on. All right. So, okay. Let me see here. Tell me, Cam, do you know what a bard's favorite meal is?
No. What is a bard's favorite meal?
It's anything he can ask for.
Got it.
Yeah. What's the bard's favorite drink?
What is the bard's favorite drink? I don't know.
Divinity.
Wait, well, shouldn't that be the cleric's favorite drink?
Divinity. Maybe.
Wait a minute. It says the leaks cost 275 million. Is that right? That sounds crazy.
Holy moly. That's crazy. Okay. Why don't skeletons fight each other?
I don't know. Why don't skeleton?
They don't have the guts.
They
don't have the guts. And lastly, why don't beholders get brain freeze? When you eat something cold. Hello, you still there?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, why don't beholders get brain freeze?
They prefer eyes cream.
I get it.
They prefer eyes cream because they got so many eyes. Beholders, they got all that big eye and then the little stalks and stuff. Okay, thanks everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. We'll see you next week. I will announce. I will announce more than 24 hours before or 12 hours before what the show is going to be about. All right. Some of the vendors were destroyed. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Wow.
All right. Good night, everyone. See you next time.
Thanks for coming.
People say